In 1952, the New York Yankees were celebrating their 50th season of being a baseball team. With a loaded roster, there were high hopes that they would win the World Series that year. Players such as Yogi Berra, Michael Mantle, and Joe Collins, they had everything they needed to succeed. And succeed is what they did. With a finished record of 95 wins and 59 losses, they had a great season. They had made it to the World Series. It was the Yankees versus the Dodgers, who also had a great year with a loaded team. After 7 games, the Yankees pulled through and won the World Series, making it the 4th consecutive World Series win for the Yankees. Everyone in New York was celebrating, but deep in the city, a couple was celebrating for a different reason. They had a brand new baby boy. William M. Finkelstein was born. He had somewhat of a normal childhood, probably reading a lot of Mad magazine, which also began publishing in the year 1952. William grew up and in 1987 was nominated for an Emmy in Outstanding Writing for L.A. Law. Sadly, he didn't win. But 2 years later, he finally won that Emmy for Outstanding Drama Series for L.A. Law. He would go on to write and produce for such shows as Law & Order, Boom Boom, Brooklyn South, NYPD Blue, and many others. In 2009, he wrote the script for a Werner Herzog film about a drug and gambling addicted detective investigating the death of 5 immigrants. With an outstanding cast, 3 awards, how does this crime drama hold up today? Today, the Moist Boys dive deep into what some people call Nicolas Cage's best performance. Not me, but some random person on the internet said that.
Ooh.
Some random person on the internet. Let's dive deep into Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans.
All right, before we even start the movie, what the fuck?
So what? How did you even discover this? Because you brought this up as a suggestion. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, Nick Cage, hell yeah.
Yeah, I heard someone reference a scene from it. I did finally figure out what scene it was.
Oh, okay.
Because they made a joke of...
So like on a podcast or something?
Yes. I know they made a reference of somebody standing behind a door and they were curious how long had he been there. And there's a few scenes in this movie where I was like, oh, is that what they're talking about? Until it became very clear.
Of what scene. And we'll get to that.
Yeah. But I will say there's a lot of people standing right offside screen in this film.
This film is very convenient. First up, before we jump into the movie, I just want to say, Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans, one of the worst movie titles ever fucking made. It's terrible. Why is it so long?
Well, and I looked up why. So when they wrote this movie, they were like, all right, it's going to be called Bad Lieutenant. Turns out there's already a movie called that.
That was made 17 years earlier in 1992.
With I think Harvey Keitel.
Harvey Keitel
was the lead.
from Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, and a bunch of other movies.
Probably fantastic movie. And then they're like, all right, we can't call it that. How about Port of Call, New Orleans?
And they're like, how about we do both?
Yeah, which is insane.
Fucking wild, dude.
I did read, though, that the movie was originally supposed to take place in New York.
Yeah, and then Nick Cage brought it to New Orleans to help with the Katrina victims.
Yeah, well, not with the victims, to get the town back working on
to
stuff,
get money.
because there's a lot of jobs with the movie set.
Okay,
and I know
yeah, that's kind of cool.
He has a house there, I know.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
New Orleans is beautiful. I've been there once. It's a cool town.
That's on my list of places I really want
I
to go.
want to go back as an adult because I think it'd be fun to be able to go to bars and drink
Yeah,
there.
see if they have a tour of this movie.
Oh, that'd be sick, dude. Okay, so the tagline for this movie, before we jump into it, is the only criminal he can't catch is himself.
What are we doing?
What?
That's the only thing I knew going into this movie.
And then also it's called Bad Lieutenant, so I'm like, oh,
Port
it's
of Call,
about
New Orleans,
It's about Nicolas Cage, who's a bad cop, which is like every fucking crime drama. I
Right.
feel like.
But I would say this is one of the furthest I've seen it go.
Yeah, this is a unique one.
Yeah.
Because they really dive deep into it. So I started my day with this today.
Yeah, that's why I at least ended my night with it, which was still too much.
I worked last night at the bar, so I didn't wake up till like noon.
Sure.
And then I woke up, had some coffee, and then watched Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans with Nicolas Cage and Eva Mendes. I had no idea what I was getting into. It was wild. So before we dive deep into the review, I just want to let people know, if you're listening, we're going to go scene by scene, analyzing everything. So there will be spoilers where we'll discuss everything about this movie. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, even though there's not really any, like this movie doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just saying that at the top of the hour.
You can check it out on Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime. Watch it or don't watch it.
I think it's on a few of the free apps.
It doesn't. Also, like, this movie doesn't matter.
And also, going scene by scene will be difficult because there were so many scenes.
Yeah,
in this
so
movie.
we're gonna try and do this fast. So the movie opens up with a snake swimming through water, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
And then we find out it takes place in New Orleans right after Hurricane Katrina.
Which I was very surprised about.
I didn't expect that, but I was like, oh, 2009. I do remember Hurricane Katrina because I was in high school for that.
Yeah.
And I remember that was a massive deal.
Really?
And they've had what, many others since.
I mean, yeah, I think some at least. The only thing I remember about Katrina, like vividly, is Kanye West going, George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Oh, really?
To Mike Myers. No,
What?
they were doing.
He said it to Mike Myers?
No, they were doing an ad for like Katrina victims, and it started with like it goes through celebrities saying like nice things and where you can like donate and stuff.
It's like a commercial.
Yeah, and then like Mike Myers says something while he's standing right next to Kanye West, and Kanye West obviously has a line he's supposed to say, but he just goes, George Bush doesn't care about black people.
And they kept that in?
And Mike Myers just kind of looks at him, and then they cut to like I think Chris Rock, and he doesn't know what to say either.
What the? And they kept that in?
I've seen it.
That's wild. But it takes place right after Hurricane Katrina, and you're like, okay, so this is a dated movie because some people don't even know about Hurricane Katrina. If you were born in the past 14 years, you weren't alive for it.
But also probably don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be wild if you were 14 years old or younger
Yeah.
listening to this.
Yeah, that'd be
This is
rough.
for adults only. It's mostly for alcoholics, but so Nicolas Cage. So it cuts. We do see the snake
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and then it cuts to like a locker room, and Nicolas Cage comes walking with Val Kilmer.
Yep.
Which blew my mind. I was like, Val Kilmer, you're Batman, dude.
Well, I haven't seen Val Kilmer this late in the game, I don't think.
I haven't seen. Like, I don't know Val Kilmer from much besides Batman.
Tombstone is his best movie.
Never seen Tombstone.
Tombstone is fantastic.
Just that. You know what that makes me think of?
What?
Pizza.
Pizza, yeah.
It makes me want Tombstone. Pizza.
Tombstone is so good. The movie. It's my favorite Western.
It's also my favorite brand of pizza.
Me too.
Frozen pizza.
Well, yeah.
But they come walking in and they're looking in a locker and they're talking about some guy that like disappeared, like a detective. So they're going
Yeah.
through his locker and he's like, oh, hopefully he has dirty pictures of his wife. And then he does. And then we just see dirty pictures of his wife, some guy's wife. And we're like, what the heck? Like, I'm pretty sure you see boobs.
Maybe. This is where I wrote down my first quote. And it's Nicolas Cage saying, I'm going to keep these.
Yeah, he puts the dirty photos in his jacket, and then Val Kilmer's like, what are you doing? He goes, fuck Duffy.
Yep.
That's like the other guy, which I don't even, what is this scene establishing? Because we never,
That he's a bad lieutenant.
I guess so. So then they're like looking around the prison because apparently somebody didn't escape because of the Katrina.
Someone didn't get moved, I think.
because the hurricane came through, and we find out it's Chavez, and he's a prisoner still stuck in the.
How did that happen?
He's still stuck in the jail cell.
How did the last person leave him there?
They were like, fuck you, you're a prisoner. So he's just locked in a jail cell with rising water.
Like it is up to his like chest, I think.
Yeah,
or he
he's-
might even be floating in it at this
'cause he's
point.
like, save me, save me, save me.
Or when he goes, help me. And this is where I wrote down the second quote I
Oh,
have.
okay.
And it's Nicolas Cage says, help what, shit turd? To a almost drowning man.
Yeah. But then Val Kilmer and Nicolas Cage start betting
Yep.
on how fast this guy will drown. And I'm just like, Jesus, what is this movie,
Yep.
dude? Fucking wild. The water is disgusting because it's river water and like it's Hurricane Katrina, so it's probably
snakes
like
in it.
sewage and shit like that.
Just
and
everything.
It's disgusting. And this is where I have my first fun fact. So fun fact, to make the water look so gross, they use decaf coffee.
Oh.
So they used 2,400 cans of decaf coffee to make the water look brown and disgusting.
Sure.
They originally tried using paint, but
That'd be bad for you,
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
it?
that's very toxic. And then they tried using regular coffee.
Oh, and that would like get you jazzed because
but
it'd be in you.
But then the regular coffee was absorbing into the
Yes.
actor's skin, so he was getting like jazzed up. And he's like, so then they switched to decaf.
Fuck.
So how many times do you think they filled that room with? And then they're like, no, we can't do it.
Fuck, yeah.
like-
But also, imagine how much, like, I don't know if that would hurt.
yeah.
to
What
be
if you would have a heart attack if you were
But,
just
like,
sitting in coffee water?
absorbing coffee through your
You'd
skin.
probably be like, ugh.
Yeah, like not a small amount either. So,
You'd probably be like a coke addict.
yeah, but like that'd be so much.
But I thought that was kind of fun. And then we find out that this guy's asking for help, and Nicolas Cage doesn't want to help him because he's wearing $55 underwear.
Yeah,
Which I was like, okay, that's kind of expensive.
yeah. Where like,
Is it like silk or something?
I just wear MeUndies, which should sponsor us. MeUndies.
Use
It's
promo
underwear.
code MOIST.
Oh God, I would love that.
For an underwear brand, Moist?
Anything. I want any promo code Moist.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So companies, reach out. But then Nicolas Cage has a change of heart, I guess, and then just decides to jump in and
Yep.
save him for no, like he just obviously, he goes from betting on this guy dying to just let me take my clothes off.
Because at one point the other guy says like, let the fire department save him. So I think they weren't gonna let him die.
Oh, okay.
I think they were just fucking around, but it's still insane.
But it
to
was
say that.
wild. So then he jumped in and we see him laying in the water, and then it cuts to the doctor's office.
Which we learned he hurt his back, but it was not even obvious for that.
No, because he jumped in water. How would you hurt your back?
I don't know.
I guess maybe if you land on something that's below the water, but they don't show it.
No, they don't. Yeah, they don't show anything.
So we just find out that he has a hurt back. He's going to have a hurt back for the rest of his life, and he gets a prescription for Vicodin.
For the rest of his life.
Yeah, and he's like, if you run out, just call the office and we'll get you more. So he's going to be on Vicodin forever.
Which immediately, that's where I was like, no, this is where it
He's
starts.
going to have a drug problem, yep. And then it cuts to, again, dude, the movie starts off and it's just boom, 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 establishing so much. He's getting promoted.
He's getting an award.
Yeah, he's getting an award. So he gets promoted to lieutenant, and we find out his name is Terrence McDonough. Donu? I don't even know how to say his last name.
I don't know. I wrote BL for the rest because his name is Bad Lieutenant.
I called him Nick Cage.
That's also
the entire time. But then, literally 5 minutes in, it does all that establishing, and then it goes 6 months later.
And he's snorting coke.
Yeah,
or he's snorting something. Maybe Vicodin?
It's at a crime scene, and we just see him do coke in his cop car, and he walks in on a murder scene, and we find out five people are
quintuple
dead,
homicide,
which is a lot of people.
which had children executed.
Yeah, like 2 kids, 3
I think
kids or
so,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, fucking wild. And then he's walking around looking at the bodies, and then he finds a poem, which I don't know what the purpose of this is, but it's how the movie ends.
I don't either.
So,
Because,
but
he
but
finds a poem and a cup containing a fish.
Yeah, and this is like supposed to linger throughout the entire movie because it's how the movie ends.
That's what I thought. But no,
So
did you write down the poem?
Yeah, I wrote down
Okay.
that poem. So he picks up this poem that's written by a child, and it's written by, the poem's called "My Friend" by Babacar Ndidi. I think that was the name of their family. Sure. My friend is a fish. He live in my room. His fin is a cloud. He see me when I sleep. That's it. That's the poem.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wrote down, I paused it and wrote it down line for line.
That's it? That's not even a poem.
Yeah, that's it. And it's also, he live in my room. He see me when I, like, it's not even
these people,
grammatically correct.
Yeah, well,
I guess they are immigrants.
Yeah, they're from, like, Africa, I think.
Yeah, okay. So
I can't remember what country they were
But
from.
he gets obsessed with this poem.
It's still weird that
And
they
then
wrote it
picks
that
up,
way.
and then there's a fish just in a glass of water.
Yep.
Just floating around.
And we don't see the fish again.
No,
I thought he was going to like take it home and keep it. That's why I was like, oh, this is going to be something. Like, nope.
No, but then at the end of the movie, he references this. But it's not brought
Vaguely.
up any other time, dude. It's so weird. So we find out that the family got killed because the dad in the family was dealing heroin or had something to do with drugs, and Nick Cage is in charge of the investigation to find who killed this family because he's a lieutenant. He works for the police.
Lieutenant.
Well, we don't know he's bad yet.
He's
just know
snorting on the job.
We just know that he does coke and steals nudes of people's wives.
Yeah. So not a good lieutenant by any means.
But I wouldn't say not bad yet. He's got to be good enough at his job that he's in charge of it.
The next thing I have is him in his boss's office. And I don't have any of the info here. This is the first time I really noticed how he was standing and how he will continue to stand for the rest of the fucking
he
movie.
has this weird slouch to him.
Because he hurt his back.
Because he hurt his back.
Not even a like it's like a hump. Like his
And
shoulder
then
is
also
up.
his suit is like too big for him.
His
and
suit is ginormous.
He looks insane.
And then he has the biggest gun stuffed into his pants, and it's
his
barely
haircut,
in there.
His haircut, he looks like shit.
Look,
I love Nicolas Cage.
I wore a toupee for 2 years. I get that there are jokes of how bad toupees look. No one ever fucking guessed that I wore a toupee. People saying like that this kind of hair is a toupee. No,
that's his real hair.
This is just absolute dog shit on a man's head. It is ridiculous.
It was bad. Well, you weren't wearing a toupee. You had a hair system.
That's just what people call it because they feel bad saying toupee.
It's a hair system.
It's a system.
Which is so weird.
It systematically looks like hair.
Yep. But he just looks wild. I don't even know why they have to establish he has a back problem. Maybe to establish that that's how he got hooked on drugs. But he was already doing cocaine and shit.
Well, no, that's after that. So maybe
how do you go from painkillers to cocaine and heroin?
Well, heroin is a direct route.
Yeah.
Because heroin is the same thing. They're all like the same type of
it's just
drug.
numbing, yeah.
Well, yeah. So
because they're all downers, but cocaine's an upper.
I know that I do not understand. And also, they kept using the word dope for every kind of drug.
Dope, yeah.
Crack, weed.
Yeah, just like
I think coke was dope. Yeah.
But it's 2009, dude. Everything was dope. Like
That's true.
Back then, also weed was bad
Right, yeah.
because weed was a drug in this as well.
But barely, yeah.
But then it cuts to a hotel room, I guess,
No, I think this is an apartment.
or an apartment, and he's knocking on the door, and it's fucking Eva Mendes. And
Greets
I'm
him
like,
with a kiss, because my first note is, turns out he is the hottest fucking wife ever.
yeah, it's his wife or girlfriend, and then they kiss, and I'm like, damn, she's so hot. And then immediately they do coke together,
Yep.
and I'm just like, oh, so she's like
In it.
in it.
So, because then my next note is, or I guess, prostitute?
Oh, you guessed that.
No, I thought she was wife. And then they started talking, and then it became clear, like, prostitute. But then she was like, yeah, but you don't have to pay. So I'm like, what is this?
So I don't think they ever establish it or say
He
it.
calls her a girlfriend once.
Yeah, they say it once. So I think they're dating, but she's a prostitute.
And I think she's more like escort, because she is high end.
Yeah.
She is rich.
And she makes more money than he does, and he's a lieutenant. And you think
Yeah.
lieutenants would make a decent amount of money. So then,
Not a bad lieutenant.
yeah, but you still make a
I
salary.
think bad lieutenants make more money.
Yeah, because you're also stealing money.
Yeah.
You know? But then it cuts to Nicolas Cage go at the prescription,
Pharmacy.
picking up his Vicodin thing, and he's freaking out. This is like
the scene is wild.
this scene is like, dude, I love seeing Nicolas Cage go unhinged.
Be full on Nicolas Cage. This one was
It's
this
up there.
movie was aggressive. It's the most Nick Cage I've seen.
It's very Nick Cage. He's not great, but also he's not a great actor just to begin with.
Dude,
but he's Nicolas Cage.
I have a note for when his accent kicks in.
Oh, he's an accent? I didn't
point,
even notice he had an accent.
Later on, because also during this whole movie, I think it takes place over like maybe a week or two.
Yeah,
he
it's really
doesn't
quick.
sleep at all,
Yeah.
and he makes a point to notice that, and it's just fueled by more and more drugs. So I don't know if it's him becoming more and more unhinged, or if this is just what he's doing.
Or he's just evolving.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
just-
it could be that sleep deprived. It makes you fucking talk weird. Yeah, but it's also Nicolas Cage. Dude.
Yes, that's more what I'm leaning on.
So this is he's waiting in line. The prescription lady's on the phone, not dealing with him. He gets a call about like, oh, they picked up some guy for questioning, and he's like, oh fuck, I gotta be there, but I gotta get my prescription because he's a drug
My
addict.
back hurts.
And then, dude, this is my favorite line of dialogue.
this is where it comes
yeah, this
in?
is when he says my favorite line. He's talking to the lady who's ignoring him, and he goes, "Could I get my prescription, please?" Like the way Nicolas Cage says "please" is so funny, dude. It's hilarious. And then she's like, "Sorry, sir," or ignoring him, and then he's just like, "All right, fuck you, I'm a cop," and he runs back there.
Also, most of the time when he says I'm a cop, it's just him flashing his gun, which
Yeah,
is
he doesn't-
shoved in the center front of his pants.
He
often.
flashes his badge once.
Yes,
And that's and that's after the gun's already out. You know, that's a later scene.
It's just like, I'm a cop. Look at this gun.
Look at this gun I have tucked, not even in a holster, in my.
Yeah, all cops have holsters.
Yeah.
No one just puts their gun in their
and
pants.
it's a massive, it's so even with his suit like just normal, you
Yeah.
can see it. Like,
because
it's-
also detectives have like shoulder holsters
Yeah,
where the
so
gun's
it's
like
hid-
here
it's
because you wear it
hidden.
under a suit.
no, his is
It's
obvious.
just shoved in the front.
I wonder if
of
that was
his
like
open suit.
He's like, you know what? This would be funnier if I did this, or this would be like, this is what my character would do.
So I heard people call this movie a comedy, and I don't think it is.
I think on IMDb it's considered a comedy, drama, crime film.
I think they did that after the fact.
Yeah, because they realized this
What
movie's
is-
kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I
don't think originally he was supposed to be a
I
comedy.
do not believe that at all.
But he goes, I'm a cop, and goes back and steals his medication, and then
He pays for it.
He does pay for it, but then like he immediately opens it up and takes some.
Yeah.
Like he must be like on withdrawal or something. I don't know. But then it cuts to the interrogation room.
Where I will say, Bad Lieutenant, he played the good cop in this scene.
Yeah, because
it really threw me off.
Val Kilmer was in there freaking playing bad cop. It's so weird it's Val Kilmer.
It
Dude.
doesn't work.
It's just so
No, because every time you're like, is that Val? Oh yeah, that is Val Kilmer. What's he doing?
Because
in this?
Val Kilmer also just has a very unique look to
Just a
him.
big old head.
Same with Nicolas Cage. They're very unique looking people.
Yes.
And they both are just weird actors.
Apparently,
Like Val Kilmer.
Apparently, the Val Kilmer documentary is very good, but he's only enjoyed like one movie he's ever been in, and that's Tombstone. He hates every single
Then
movie.
what is he at?
I don't know.
But Nick Cage gets mad at him because he's doing a bad job interrogating him and kicks him out, and he goes, let me interrogate you.
Yeah.
And then he just like his nice friendly cop, he sits down.
Threw me off.
Yeah, it's like, what the heck? And we find out that the big bad guy of like this crime syndication or whatever is called Big Fate.
Yep.
And it's like, okay.
And there's G.
G and then midget.
Yep. Which, sorry
Which is-
about that.
That's what the guy's name
That's
is.
his nickname in the movie for some
There
fucking
is also
reason.
a scene. I don't know if you caught it.
Right before this, where it's a guy. It looks like it's supposed to be a child, but it's a little. You fucking saw that too?
Yeah, dude. It has nothing to do with the scene. It's
No.
it's when he's getting the prescription. I'm pretty sure
It's outside.
It's outside.
So it's when he's
Yeah,
walking
dude.
up to the pharmacy. There's a person where they're dressed kind of like a child, I think, but it's a little person.
It's a little person.
But then they cut to a group of teens in the pharmacy. That's the next scene. I was so confused
So they
by
couldn't
that.
get another team,
Or it's just
or is it the
happenstance.
establishing shot that it?
It just turns out this guy was walking
Dude,
past.
it was. I was like, why are we showing? There's just
Yeah.
like there's just a little person walking by.
But like they're the front, like Nick Cage is in the background entering a business.
Dude,
Yo,
it's so-
I cannot believe you also
yeah,
noticed
I noticed that.
that.
And I was like, what the? I didn't write it down, but I was like,
No, me neither.
I was
'cause
like, what the fuck?
I was just confused by it. I thought it was like maybe a lanky kid or something.
No,
Yeah.
it was literally a little person.
Yeah.
Like, he was wild. But I don't know, maybe because like one of the guys is called Midget, they were like, let's establish
Well,
this.
'cause also I was
It's
like,
2009,
No,
dude.
because later on I was like, oh, is that when I heard the name Midget? I was like, is that him?
Oh,
And
is
like,
that him? No.
Nope.
It's just a
Different dude.
It's just a regular sized guy that's named Midget.
Yep.
Which is so weird,
Yep.
dude.
I don't know.
But then
Next fucking
But then
scene.
Nicholas meets Michael Shannon. I'm pretty sure that's his name.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah. Why is he in this also?
Yeah, dude, the cast is wild in this.
Eva Mendes. Yeah.
Jennifer Coolidge comes up later. That blew my. I did not expect her to be in
Fucking
this.
weird.
So insane. Michael Shannon is working at the police station,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just like he just works like at the evidence place. I think like the evidence locker,
Sure.
or something like that. And we find out that Nick Cage has been stealing evidence, and this guy's been helping him. And
Oh,
he's
okay.
not going to help him anymore because they're installing cameras, and he doesn't want to get caught. And he literally goes, just throw away the voucher, so then people don't know that he was even put in there.
Right.
And I'm just like, I guess that makes sense, but also that's like,
It might come back in a court case.
yeah. But also that's wild because he's a lieutenant, so
Yep.
like that's your higher upper. You got to listen to him. And then he's like, sorry, I won't help you anymore. And then we cut to dude. There's so many scenes in this that are wild, and like, what is the point?
This scene especially.
Like this scene, I get that he's trying to get his drugs.
That's not what this was about, though.
Dude, it was wild. So we've already established that he has a girlfriend
Yes.
who's hot as fuck. That's also a prostitute.
Yep.
But then we cut to outside of a club.
He's in his car.
He's in his car, and this like drunk couple is walking across the street to their car, probably to leave, and then he pulls them over.
Well, they start making out by their car too,
Yeah,
and then he pulls up on him. Yeah.
turns the lights on, and he gets out, and then he just like comes up angry, and he's like, "What do you have on you?"
Yeah, you match a description for people who are slinging dope in the club, and he like searches the guy. He finds something, and it's
Puts
like,
it immediately in his pocket.
yeah, and then he goes to the girl. He's like, empty your purse, and I don't even know how this started happening. She has drugs on him, and he's like, all right, smoke it, and then she smokes it, and then breathes it into his mouth.
Yeah, is that the lucky crack pipe?
I don't know.
I think that might be the beginning
Titular.
of the beginning of the lucky crack pipe, because she smokes crack, and then instead of like handing the pipe over, which is what you do when you share drugs,
Apparently.
she smokes it and then blows it into his mouth, and it does it a few times because he goes again, and then they start making out, and the boyfriend is right there,
Yeah.
and then she starts unzipping his pants, and
No,
I was
he
like,
unzips his pants,
And then I'm like,
and
oh.
she says, "Is this what it's gonna take?" And he says, "Yep."
and then I'm like, oh, it's just a hand job, and then nope, we see a naked butt, and they're having sex,
And also, they're having sex standing up.
which is all
Like, I don't really understand the angle,
It's hard as fuck to do that.
but also straight up for both of them.
Yeah, it's not like she's angled at all.
And then eventually the guy tries to leave, and so Nicolas Cage pulls his gun out.
pulls out and shoots it straight up in the air, and goes, "Do not leave. You're gonna watch me have
You
sex with you."
stand there and watch.
Dude, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like he like pulled him over to get drugs.
Yep.
But then also do have sex.
Because also, I thought like, yeah, he unzipped his pants, and she was like, "Is that what's gonna take?" And he's like, "Yep." I thought she was gonna just drop to his knees. It was gonna be that scene.
It's just a blowjob or a hand
But
job.
yeah, then she starts grabbing. I was like, all right, I guess it's just a hand job, but like then they somehow fuck.
And then I did not expect sex, and I was like, "Oh!" So that I wrote down hand job, and then I like deleted it and put sex.
I put hand job then sex
Yeah,
too.
I was like, what? I was like, what the hell? And then making him watch too. I was like, and then it cuts to him in his car like afterwards, and he's just like disheveled and like, and then he does more drugs.
Yep. Well, then he goes to his girlfriend's place next.
Yeah, because we find out that what he accidentally took was heroin and not coke.
Gotcha.
And he says to Eva Mendes, he goes,
I could not even keep up with this part.
dude, it's insane. He goes, I have to be at work in an hour. I need cocaine because the heroin's making me sleepy. So he's going to counter the heroin with cocaine.
Uppers and downers.
And then go to work. Dude, it's just like, what the fuck?
But it turns out his girlfriend has John in the other room.
Yeah, Klein over.
Because she's got bruises on her face too. So he gets...
Oh, is it the bruises started here?
I think so. I don't fucking know. I think so. Wait, maybe not.
No, the bruises. Yeah, it's the
he
next
just
client.
robs
It's
this
the
guy.
next client.
Well, he
yeah.
robs this guy of drugs. Yeah.
Because the guy comes out and he goes, "Who the fuck is this?" And this is what Nicolas Cage. This is the quote. He goes, "I'm the last person in the world you want me to be."
Which is that a
What
hard
does
line?
that mean?
I don't know.
What does that mean? But then literally, he robs him of the coke, and then he leaves, and then they do the cocaine together.
And the girl just like, when the guy looks at her after he robs him, she just like shrugs. She's like, I don't.
And then
I
she
don't-
gets so happy that she gets to be alone with her boyfriend.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage, who just had sex for heroin, which I don't.
Dude, this movie is insane. It's just fucking wild.
I don't know.
But then we cut to a funeral
Yes, the funeral of the executed,
of the 5 people that died.
and it's like I assume tradition for whatever their culture is like.
African or something.
Yeah, there's different things happening at the cult or at the funeral, and then you just see Nicolas Cage hunched, leaning against like a tree or
like
something.
the guy was doing he was like drinking something and then spitting it out and then
Yeah.
like shaking like a
Yeah,
thing.
shaking something cool.
And then Nicolas Cage is just there, and then some lady just starts freaking out on him.
pulls him aside,
And then it's like, "Are you a cop? Are you a cop? You got to help me." She's freaking out because
begs him for help
because like she killed his fam. But why is he at the funeral? That's why I don't understand, dude.
and like, why did he need to do cocaine to go to this funeral?
Yeah, I don't. Like, is that part of his job?
I fucking guess.
I just assume everything's linear.
Yes, it has to take in this movie. It has to be.
Yeah, like because I don't.
Yep.
And I just assume everything's happening back to back to back, and he's just so exhausted
Yes,
and
you have
doped
to.
up. And then after the funeral, he goes to Big Shot grocery store because he finds out from the lady at the funeral that the last person to see their family was a delivery boy, I guess,
Okay.
or whatever. I don't really understand
No, they
how
do-
that connected.
They do not make it clear.
But he's looking for a delivery boy. And then he finally gets a name, but we don't know the name. And then it cuts to an elderly folks retirement home. So many fucking cuts in this movie. Just this location.
Yep.
Cut. But then we get to a fancy retirement home, and it's an elderly white lady getting taken care of by an elderly black lady.
Yeah, he knocks on the door and opens it, and it's a little old woman, in a wheelchair, and like her orderly or whatever.
I don't even know. I don't even know. Caretaker. I don't
Yeah.
even know. But she was also
Caretaker
older.
doing her hair. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Where's your grandson?"
Yes.
Where's your grandson?
So this is the witness's grandmother.
Yes, where's your grandson? And then the grandson was on the porch.
Yes.
This is so wild. They're like talking, and then the window just opens, and he's like, "I'm here." Just,
What?
Dude, I was like, "What the
No,
fuck?"
so I rewound the scene to make sure that he at least knocked. Because I just figured he walked in and then the kid was just outside the window for some fucking reason.
Okay, so he knocked and then hid.
Yes.
Okay, so
that
and
had
then,
to be
and
what
then
happened.
he came out, dude.
But also this old lady is fucking on these people's team. And it's so funny. Because also she stops him while he's questioning her. And she's like, "Who are you? You don't even acknowledge me."
Yeah, she's like, "Acknowledge me." And like the other guy that's with Nicolas Cage is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
I forgot
And
the other guy was here for that.
And Nicolas Cage is like, "I don't give a fuck about you."
And then the grandson just
yeah,
opens a
grandson-
window.
It's like a 15-year-old boy.
Yep.
It's like innocent, dude. And then we find out, they're looking for Big Fate, which his name is Donald Godshaw.
Yeah.
And then, so Donald Godshaw runs a thing, and then we're looking for 3 people. So it's him and then the 2 guys, G and Midget.
Yeah.
That's the team that they're looking for.
And this is where we are made very aware that what's the big bad's name?
I don't know.
Oh shit, the exhibit, his character's name.
Oh,
didn't you just
Big,
say it?
Big Fate?
Yeah, Big Fate.
It is wild that that's Exhibit, too. That's a famous rapper.
He's pretty good in it.
Yeah. It's,
He's maybe the best part of it.
but also, why? The cast is insane.
yes, very just pulled
Who
out of a hat.
fucking all these people auditioned for this.
Yes.
Like all these famous people.
Nicolas Cage maybe didn't. He was maybe just offered it.
Yeah,
because
but
this
then-
is when he was just taking every role. But Eva Mendes, I have no excuse.
And then Exhibit's like, "Oh, sure, I'd like to play a crime guy."
I don't know. Maybe he saw like what Ludacris was doing in the F series, and he's like, I could do that.
That's true, I guess. I don't know what else Exhibit has been in.
Yeah,
but
me neither.
I don't even know what his music is, but I know him. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's a big enough name where I know him.
But also, like, yeah, so this grandson is a witness to a criminal that is known for killing witnesses.
Yeah, so we find out that he went to go deliver the groceries to the house, and then people started shooting, so he hid in the closet.
Yes.
And then when he came out, they were dead.
And everyone was gone.
Yeah. So he didn't see him, but he did know who did it.
Well, it sounds like he did see him because he didn't answer.
He didn't answer.
Yeah, and he did not want to testify.
But then it cuts to a raid. And they're going to somebody's house. I think they're getting one of the henchmen, G or Midget. I don't know which one it is.
Well, because right before this, it was a police meeting again, I think, about why Nicolas Cage is the best man for the job.
Even though he has a hurt back.
And a huge drug problem. They have to know. Because also he's like, you're the only guy who that doesn't sleep or something like that.
Well, the guy above Nicolas Cage, like his boss, is like, are you on anything? He's like, just been prescribed. And he goes, well, if I found out you didn't ask for help when you needed it, I'll be super mad.
You don't want to do that. The bad lieutenant doesn't want to make his superior mad.
I was like, this dialogue feels very just straight to the point.
But the movie is not.
But then they go...
Yeah, it's a police raid.
They raid this house, and there's a ton of cop cars outside with guns drawn.
But to do this, he just walks through a different person's apartment.
So he goes, give me a second.
Yeah.
And just goes through this person's house.
Their neighbor's
house. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's walking through, and in the kitchen, there's weed. And he's like, oh, weed. Puts it in his pocket.
I didn't even notice that.
He picks up fucking like a big bait of weed, smells it, puts it in his pocket, and keeps going. So he's stealing drugs from a thing. He goes through the backyard, creeps in through the back door, and just gets this guy by himself.
Yep.
So he's a good lieutenant, I guess.
Well, no, he's a bad lieutenant, but he's good at his job. I don't know.
But he got him by himself, and he gets him to walk out the front door. And this is another weird scene where Nicolas Cage comes out, and he's probably doped up, obviously.
But this is when he has the big smiles, right?
Yeah, he has a huge smile on his face, and he goes, I love it.
Yeah.
I just love it. Which, what? Like, you love capturing bad guys?
I think so. But also he fucked one last night. So like
what are you doing? Like, I know his acting is wild. But then they start interrogating this guy, and of course he's denying that he doesn't know Big Fate. So I think this is G, because he goes, I don't know Big Fate or Midget.
Okay.
These are what they say in the movie. I'm quoting the movie, dude. And then we get another massive cut.
Is this when he meets with his bookie?
Yeah, we go to a sports bar.
Yeah.
And Nick Cage is fucked up.
Yeah.
Because he's fucked up the entire movie. But he's gambling on sports. And he's like putting money on like a football game. Mm-hmm. And we're like, okay, so...
You found out he's down quite a bit, I think.
Not right now.
No, I think he's still down.
Oh, but he's like, let me just put it on this game. And he goes, okay. But then you'll be like double or nothing kind of...
Well, no, this is where he still says he'll do a favor for his bookie.
Oh, yeah.
Where the bookie's like daughter has like a parking ticket or a speeding ticket.
He gets a speeding ticket. And he's like, okay, if I do this for you, then I'll get an extra point. Or I don't understand how gambling works
either.
But... we find out he's also a gambling addict at this point.
Because why not?
We're just establishing in a chaotic way. And then, dude, this next cut was the weirdest fucking thing.
Crocodile dead
on the interstate, upside down.
With like, I think an overturned car behind it.
Yeah, I was like, what the
Which
fuck?
I guess I don't know what crocodile roadkill would do to a car. It could... could it flip it? They're fucking dense. It's like hitting a log at full speed.
Yeah, that is true. But it was just, massive crime scene. Nick Cage shows up for some reason. I was like, oh, because it's a crime, nope, he shows up so he can talk to the police officer about getting rid of the speeding ticket.
Yeah, and this cop is not fucking having it.
This cop is like, fuck
straight
you.
laced, yeah.
Yeah, just like, I'm not fucking doing this.
But
and
then...
he goes, are you asking me to break the law?
And this cop isn't having it. But then...
a lady cop.
Fucking hot, scary looking lady cop. The girl from, what's it? Waterboy, Vicky.
Oh, that's Vicky?
Vicky, and then the main girl from The Craft.
Holy crap, I didn't know that was Vicky.
Yeah, and The Craft, where she's the hottest witch ever.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. Okay. So she is hot.
Yeah.
I was like, you're kind of scary hot.
Yeah, because good cop says no, but hot cop says yes, and then gets asked out on a date.
Yeah. And then this next shot
is the most insane. No, not even.
This threw me out of the movie, even though I wasn't even in the movie.
Right.
Because I'm also like, what's going on?
This is when I texted you. So this was at 39 minutes.
Yeah, 39 minutes in of a 2-hour movie. it cuts to this weird alligator POV of an alligator that's alive on the side of the road.
Yeah, that's
and we see
watching.
and we see the crime scene that's watching, and then we see the alligator start moving towards the crime scene, and I'm like, oh, is it going to attack somebody? Nope. Then it just cuts to the next scene.
Well, the camera
What is
kind of
that?
circles around the animal too. I don't know if it's an alligator or a crocodile, but yeah.
But I was like, what is this shot for?
And then it just ends.
What is that for?
I have a theory that we'll get to later.
Okay. About drugs?
No, it's not a good theory either.
Okay.
But it's just something that I noticed.
But and also there's like a weird effect on it. Like it's supposed to look like trippy a little bit. Like,
yeah. I don't know.
I don't get it. But then we cut to a scene with Nicolas Cage on the bed.
Waking up. Or no,
No,
just
he's doing coke with the sexy cop.
Well, you don't see the sexy cop at first.
Yeah.
Because
And
she
then it
walks
pans out.
over in
Lingerie.
and big ass boots and places that big old boot right on his dick.
Yep,
while
right
they're
on his
talking.
dick. It did. And she goes, are you horny? And he goes, I'm horny. And she goes, you're not horny. You're high on dope.
So this is where I wrote down one of my favorite quotes from him. Everything I take is prescription, besides the heroin.
Yeah, except the heroin. That's what he said. But he's like so doped out, he's like falling asleep because he hasn't also slept in days.
And then she crawls on top of him, and she's so hot in this.
Yeah, because like she's naked.
But like sleeping with Nick Cage.
yeah. And then he passes out and she just leaves. They don't even do it.
Yep.
And I'm just like, because he's so fucked
I think
up.
they already did it.
Yeah, I assume that they've been doing it for a
Yeah.
while or something. And then it cuts back again. This movie is just like,
Yeah.
like you can't even process. This movie just happens to you. You can't even process what's going on to it. Like you're just like, okay, I guess we're here now.
Yep.
Because then it cuts back to the gambling man.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, and this is when we find out that he owes him $3,000.
Oh, God.
And then Nicolas Cage bets even more money on a game.
He bets another like 2 or something like that.
Yeah, 2, and then he does more coke in the bathroom.
Yep.
And then it cuts to another stakeout. It's just like chaotic. But also, is it chaotic because he's doing coke and we're supposed to like?
I don't know. I think that's the artistic idea of this, but I don't fucking know.
It was hard to follow.
Yes.
It wasn't. Whatever they were trying to do didn't work.
Not for us, at least.
At least not for me.
Yeah, so now we're at another stakeout, and there's like 2 detectives watching, and then
Val Kilmer's there.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage walks in, and the first thing he goes is, "Why are there iguanas on the table?"
Yeah, then there's 2 iguanas on the coffee table, and he's like, "Why are they there?" And he goes, "They're not iguanas." And he goes, "Yes, they are iguanas." And they have like a weird fight about if they're iguanas or not.
No, it's not if they are iguanas. He says they aren't. There aren't iguanas. That they don't exist.
What?
That is what they're saying. Because then he slaps them. He's like, "What are these then?" And then they move on. I don't think. No, that's the.
Whoa, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, no, the iguanas aren't there.
So he's starting to see shit.
I fucking guess.
Is that your theory?
No, the theory comes in later.
Dude, I thought they were arguing about like how those weren't iguanas.
No, that's that they aren't even there.
Damn, so he's seeing shit.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, because
That also doesn't. But also that doesn't make sense.
also you'll really see him see stuff later on.
Yeah,
we'll
that
get
is
to.
weird. That is weird at the end.
This is,
Maybe this is the establishing of that
I think so.
for no reason.
Yeah, all of it has no reason. Yes, this is the beginning of that. We'll get there.
But then I was like, what is this movie? They're staking out this guy's house, and then we cut to an iguana POV.
Yep.
Same weird filter as
Yeah.
the alligator, but then
it
we're
is-
just seeing Nick Cage stare at them, like in the background.
Or just, I think he's just looking in
And
a
it-
different
and dude,
direction.
and it's what's so wild.
It's like 3 minutes
There's like
long.
weird. It's a whole song
Yeah.
is playing of like, and the camera just keeps like close up on these iguanas, and Nick Cage is just like looking at them. And,
crazy long
I'm
iguana
just like,
shot.
what is this? What are we doing, dude? What the fuck? And then they go, let's go ambush the house.
Yep.
And then it cuts back to the movie. I'm like, what was that?
Yeah. No, they get back in the house.
Dude, what
He
the-
finds, I don't remember which guy this is.
If this might be Midget.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But he finds him in like the closet and just immediately pulls a gun on him.
And then he goes, give me a second.
Yep.
And he has a one-on-one with this guy, sits him down on the bed, and then pulls out a joint.
Which is the most normal thing he's done so far.
And he just starts smoking a joint, and he offers it to the criminal, and the criminal's like, no, you're a cop. I'm not going to smoke a joint with you. But he's like getting super high, and he's asking about Big Fate, and the guy's like, no, man, I ain't telling you shit.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't want to tell him.
I think he books him at this point.
And then another weird cut to outside on a porch.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage talking to Jennifer Coolidge, which again, we're like,
All right.
she's in this? We're establishing there's so many characters.
I don't know if Jennifer Coolidge is a good actress or not. I love her. She's in a lot of good shit and she's great in it. But
she's very specific.
I know her.
Because also her voice is specific.
Yeah, I know her from like Best in Show and like Legally Blonde and like Cinderella Story and shit like that. I don't know.
Isn't she from Chucky?
What?
Isn't she in like later Chucky movies?
No, that's Jennifer Tilly.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Are they similar?
No.
How do I know Jennifer Coolidge then? Maybe just because it's her?
Movies I just listed.
I haven't seen those.
Oh, all right.
I thought she was in at least one Chucky movie.
No, that is Jennifer Tilly.
Oh, maybe they have similar names.
Sure.
I don't
They're
know.
not similar people
But
at all.
he's talking to Jennifer Coolidge, and we find out that he's at his dad's house, and that's his dad's new wife.
Or girlfriend. I
Or
don't think
girlfriend,
they
or
never give
whatever.
her a title.
And his dad seems like a train wreck, but also she seems like a train wreck because she's hammered.
Yeah. But it turns out dad's going to AA.
Yeah. And
And for some reason, this means he can't take care of his dog.
he can't take care of his dog, and she doesn't want to take care of his dog. So then Nick Cage goes, I'll take him to the meeting, and I'll take care of the dog.
Which, why can't he? He's not going to rehab.
He's going to AA.
A meeting.
So why can't you take care of a dog?
Yeah, I do not understand.
There's also a scene later where he goes, all I do is go to meetings, and in between I just lay on the couch. That's what his dad says.
That's a perfect time to take care of a dog.
I know. And the dog is like a good
it's
looking
just
dog.
like a golden retriever
Yeah,
or
it's
a
like a nice-
lab. Yeah, it's just yeah.
And then it cuts to Nicolas Cage dropping the dog off at Eva Mendez's apartment.
Yep. And she's like, I can't take care of a dog. He's like, well,
You're
dog.
gonna.
Yep.
And then she goes, what's his name? And he goes, I don't know. That's
don't
my
know.
dad.
Yep.
How do you not know the dog's name?
And that's what she says. But also, why?
Yeah, what do you do? Why would you say you're going to take care of it then give it to somebody else?
Also, why do you have to take the dog?
Because it looks like they live on a nice farm.
They like have some. Yeah, they have
with
a
land
house
where the
yeah.
dog can run around. Instead, so then Eva Mendes has the fucking doorman at her apartment take care of the dog because she's
fucking-
going on a date, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so, and then it cuts back to the interrogation
Yeah,
room.
let's get back to
Dude,
that.
it's just so fucking, dude. It's like I was watching this. I was like, if I wasn't taking notes and pausing, I would be so confused.
Yeah.
I mean, I am confused, but I'm like,
There are
it's just so fast.
there are several full scenes they could have removed. Like they could have removed 2 storylines from this film.
yeah, you don't need
and it would have
all
been
this.
fine.
Then it would have been kind of better.
Way better.
More
If this
cohesive.
was 90 minutes
A
of
tight 90?
of something I understood, great.
Instead of 2 hours and 2 minutes.
Of so just pure confusion.
Just fucking wild. But then it cuts back to the guy getting interrogated.
Yeah.
And Nick Cage comes in, and then the guy's like, "You fucking smoked weed in front of me."
Yes.
Like, and then the detective is like, "Lieutenant, come check this out." And I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna get in trouble."
Exactly what I thought. That's why I then wrote down the note of when he smoked the weed and it being brought up because I was like, oh, this matters now.
Nope, it doesn't matter because then Big Fate walks in with his lawyer. The
Yeah.
guy they're looking for just is in the police department with his lawyer, and I'm just like, "Oh, so you smoking weed doesn't matter."
Oh, this is when Big Fate shows up?
Yeah,
Okay.
He literally, it cuts to like him going, "Oh, Lieutenant, we need you."
Yeah.
And so I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna get in trouble," and no, Big Fate walks in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
'Cause
like,
I know this is the scene also where they're like, you need to get this witness and you need to keep him alive.
well, that's so. After we find out Big, then we cut to the assistant district attorney.
That's who that guy was?
Did you write down his name?
No.
It shows his name on the door.
Okay.
And his name is Jeremiah Good Husband.
Oh,
His last name is Good Husband.
okay.
What is that?
I don't know.
Somebody
Printed that out.
Somebody wrote that.
Somebody printed that out and stuck it to a window.
Jeremiah Good Husband. Whoever wrote this movie, I mean, William.
Yeah.
That's the
You lost control.
That's the last name you came up with. Good Husband. So this is when we find out the 15-year-old kid needs protected, so then he can be on trial as a witness. Because if he's not protected, this guy will kill him. I guess.
Sure.
Even though he's a kid.
Well, I don't think that matters. Here I killed kids.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's just like, okay, just understand this is what's happening.
Then it cuts back to the fucking dog.
This I do not understand. This scene, the doorman was so horrible.
Yeah,
his
so
acting.
the doorman is like, I can't take care of this dog. She said she'll be back at 4. I got to go pick up my kids or something like this.
I got work to do. Like the
I gotta do
accent
my
is
second job.
so bad.
And then he's like, fine, I'll take the dog.
so now the dog is back in his backseat. Why did we have any of these fucking dog scenes?
Also, yeah, why is the dog? What's the point of the dog
No,
story?
you could have just not had the dog storyline
Cut it. Like
easily.
I get maybe you had that in your first draft as a writer.
Why?
And then cut it. Be like,
What-
we don't need this.
What does it symbolize? Fuck. That's all I want to know is what do all these things fucking symbol? They have to mean something. You keep doing that.
Maybe it means nothing. They had an alligator POV.
That has to mean something. I have a small.
I can't wait to hear.
No, I don't think my theory fucking works anymore.
But also, when I was looking up the info and like the fun facts and all that stuff,
Nothing.
they never say anything.
There was no interesting
I think
trivia.
this movie came out and nobody questioned it.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, whatever.
And then it was gone.
And then, yeah, it was middle of the road
It's
movie.
got A-list celebrity, like several. Werner Herzog is a
He directed it.
He's a big name.
Nick Cage.
What happened?
Eva Mendes.
But like Nick Cage is a wild card and we all love him for it.
Yeah.
But
we know what he's up.
Michael Shannon.
Michael
is
Shannon.
nice.
Fucking Jennifer Coolidge. Like, what are you doing?
Jennifer Coolidge is a weird one, but this isn't even a wild card role for her.
No, like, dude, it's just so weird. But
I
then
don't
it cuts to Nicolas Cage driving a car with a dog in the backseat and a 15-year-old kid in the front seat.
Pretending to be asleep.
And Nicolas Cage is talking about his girlfriend to the 15-year-old about like, oh, she was supposed to be back. Well, we got to go pick her up.
Yeah.
She's like an hour away. Have you ever been to what is
Bixby,
it?
I think,
Biloxi?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so then he takes his kid. Why is he in charge to watch the kid?
This is a scene too, is then the kid, I guess later on,
yeah, because it's a montage.
they're driving, the kid's asleep, and then
While he's driving,
Nicolas Cage snorts some coke or heroin. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, he does a little bump of whatever.
And it turns out the kid sees him.
The kid sees him, and I'm like, oh, that's going to bite him in the ass, dude.
It doesn't.
Nope. We cut to the hotel that apparently Eva's at from an hour later.
This, I think, is still her place. I think this is where she lives.
No, because she's out of town to see this
Right,
client.
yeah.
This
Because
client.
he was just at the doorman's place. Yeah. Jesus
So then they're at
Christ.
the Eva hotel, and Eva opens the door, and she's wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, this is where it is.
She takes off the sunglasses, and she has a busted up face.
Yep.
And she's like, "Do you have anything for me?" And he goes, "I got Coke and Vicodin." And then we find out that the client that she was with didn't pay.
Yes.
And-
or hasn't paid yet, because it turns out he's in the other room.
Yeah, hasn't paid yet, even though they've done everything, but then won't pay. But
also
also,
he says
he hasn't left yet.
He also says that they haven't done everything, but she's also beat to shit.
But then I wrote down a quote from Nicolas Cage, and I was like, "Why'd you say this?" So he's like getting mad at this person, and he goes, "We don't hit women down south."
Yeah.
Why can't you just say that we don't hit women? Why you gotta say down south?
Also, we see later on he does much worse shit.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage does hit women.
Well, I don't think we saw him hit a woman in this movie.
Slap.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true.
But then this guy is freaking out. This guy is a well-known actor too. I don't remember what his name is, but he's in a lot of other things. He just kept going, whoa, whoa, whoa. Big mistake.
Yep.
Big mistake. Whoa. He just keeps going, whoa.
Is this
big
when he
mistake, whoa.
closes the door and then opens it again? Goes to the last one like big mistake.
No, dude, yeah. So he keeps going, big mistake, whoa, leaves, and then opens back up, and he doesn't say big mistake. He opens back up and leans in and goes, whoa. and then close the door. What? And then the kid, the 15-year-old boy, is just in the hallway.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's why I was like,
Dude.
this movie is full of people just on the other side of the door in,
It's like,
in
what-
the weirdest situations.
What is going on?
I wish the kid would just enter through the window again.
Here I am. So,
That was that scene.
yeah. What? It's establishing something, I guess, but in
Yeah.
a weird way.
Now cut to restaurant.
Yeah, I think maybe this is they were saying like a hotel casino.
Sure.
So I think this is like the casino part of the hotel / restaurant.
Yeah.
And so Nicolas Cage is like, asks the boy, the 15-year-old boy, to take care of Eva Mendes.
Yeah.
While he goes to check on something,
Because she's fucked up.
even though she's an adult.
Yeah.
And she seems beat up, but she seems fine.
Yes.
She can take care of.
Yeah, it seems like she's handled worse. But
Yeah.
also she's on Vicodin and Coke.
And she's a prostitute. But the important thing that he has to go check out is
The game.
the television.
Yep.
He goes to the bar and watches the football game to see if they're winning, and starts talking to some random guy at the bar. And then he finds out that they're losing, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh fuck!"
And then he goes back to the booth they were at, and the boy's gone.
The boy's gone, and she's like, "What? He went to the bathroom." And boy's missing.
Yep, Nicolas Cage looks at like several different bathrooms, and then
Yeah.
it's a montage of him driving around. We never see what happens to Eva Mendes.
No, he's driving around looking for him.
Yeah.
Like just like
I don't even think the dog's in the back seat. It turns out the boy's lost.
But what sucks is if they lose the kid, they lose the case.
yeah.
Which is very important. And also, that's like his job to watch the kid, and
Yeah.
he lost him immediately.
And now for the next scene.
Yeah, we watched the scene. We watched the scene before we recorded.
There's a little montage of him driving around looking for the kid, but now, yeah, when Robert came over today, I was like, I need to watch this scene again.
This might be the best scene of the movie.
Yeah, even if you're listening to this and haven't seen the movie, you need to look up this scene.
If also you're listening to this and haven't seen the movie, you're probably like, what the fuck are you talking about?
If you have seen the movie, you're probably like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because also now, back at Grandma's.
Yeah, this is the
place of work.
This is the wildest scene.
We get Grandma wheeling in the same old woman she's in charge of into the same room we saw. She wheels him in. And then from behind the door closes and to reveal Nicolas Cage in the corner shaving.
Yeah, leaning in the corner with his fucking bad posture.
Shoulder up, yeah.
Suit looking like shit. Hair looking wild.
Eyes so scary.
But with an electric shaver just shaving. And he goes, where is he?
Yeah.
Like, it kind of reminded me of Batman. Where is she? But like, he was calm about it. But also shaving.
So
it was
this
just
is where
weird.
this is where I realized this is what I've heard referenced on this podcast I listened to earlier. Because the question is, how fucking long was he behind that door? Long enough that he brought a fucking razor. How long had he had that in his pocket?
He has a lot of things in his pocket, dude. He just keeps putting things in there.
Well, it's a
the
giant
inside suit
suit.
jacket.
Yeah.
Because he put weed in there. There's naked photos of some guy's wife in there.
yeah.
He's got the electric razor in there. His gun is fucking in his waist.
He shuts the door on them while shaving, and the old woman's like immediately call security. He's like, no need.
Yeah, he's like very calm, but also talking wild. So then he slowly walks up and he's like, where's your grandson? Where's your grandson? Tell me where your grandson is.
She's like, I don't have to tell you. He doesn't have to testify if he doesn't want to.
And then he takes the air breathing machine out the old lady that's in the wheelchair out of her nose.
He does like a little speech of like, up until now, I've been courteous.
Yeah, I've slept an hour and a half in the past 3 days.
And I've been courteous. And I think that's what's preventing me from solving this case. So he is now officially unhinged.
Yeah.
So he pulls the oxygen out of the old woman's nose.
And then pinches it for some reason.
well, he kind of like curls it like close around her neck, but like he wasn't like choking her.
No, but he was just like pinching it, preventing her from breathing because that's her breathing machine.
But
and
also,
then they
like,
start freaking out.
I don't know if you, I don't think you just die if that's removed. I think it helps you.
I think it helps just pump oxygen, but you can still breathe through your mouth
Yeah,
and stuff. I think.
she can still inhale.
And she can still, I think she still talks a little bit, but I do think like you get light breath. Like,
yeah, I think it would fuck you up over like if you're used to it or something. But like, yeah, it doesn't kill you immediately.
No.
I don't think
It would, but it
that's
would-
when he like twisted it. I didn't know if he was gonna start like choking.
yeah, I
her or
didn't know. I think
something.
it was just the way he was holding it. He was
Yeah.
doing a Nick Cage. I think it was a Nick Cage thing where he was like, "This would be funny if I do this," or "This would be," because a lot of his acting is like, I don't think he does it for comedic reasons. I just think he does it for Nick Cage reasons. Where he's
that's
just
fair,
like, he's
yeah.
just like, this is what my character would do.
Yeah, this is what's happening, and you can't tell me otherwise. Because I bet he doesn't take notes.
And then so he doesn't let her have the airbag till he finds out where the grandson is.
While doing this, every time the woman who's the grandmother reaches for the oxygen, he gives just little slaps.
Yeah, he just keeps slapping her hand.
And then he will do that during his little speech too, where I pointed this out to you this time we watch it. Every time he says the word "you,"
he goes,
gets,
"You."
He gets more and more aggressive. You, and like just yelling at this woman until he pulls a fucking gun
Well,
out.
before he pulls the gun
okay.
out. Okay, no, yeah.
No,
so,
yeah,
he, so he does pull the gun out. He pulls the gun out.
holds
and,
it to the grandma's head.
And then she finally goes, oh, he's on a plane to England. What?
So this old woman, because she sent the grandson away to stay with her family,
Yeah, to her
so he'd
family.
be safe.
Yeah.
So
To England.
these two old ladies are close.
Yeah, because that's got to be very expensive. It's fucking wild. So he gets the information.
And then he gives the oxygen back to the old lady, and he just keeps going, "Good girl."
Good
Breathe
girl,
it
like
in.
pats her on the face, and then he's like having like an inner monologue, but he's doing it out loud.
Where like the old woman should be dead. She's sucking up all the inheritance because she's so old and keeping herself alive.
Well, dude, this is what he says. So after he gives her the air back, he like is kind of like he got the information, but you can tell something's going on in his head. He puts the air back in her, and he goes, "This is the exact quote." He goes, "Maybe you should drop dead, you cunt." He drops the C word to this old lady, and I was just like, "What the fuck?"
Also, he goes like, "I hate you. I hate you both.
I hate you both. And then he pulls out his fucking gun.
Because he goes, "You know what? Maybe I should just
Maybe I should kill you both."
And he
And he
pulls out
starts-
his gun, cocks it.
and starts waving at both of them, like freaking out. And they're like, we gave you the information.
And it is biggest gun, the biggest handgun you can have.
It's the wildest scene. Like,
Just
if
when
you're,
you know what?
if you're gonna watch any scene in this movie, watch this scene.
Yeah.
This establishes the whole movie.
And then I wrote down what he says as he's leaving. You're the fucking reason this country is going down the drain.
Because of the old people?
Yep.
Like, I don't,
The old people who took care of her grandson.
yeah. If I was in that situation, I would do the exact same thing. He doesn't have to testify. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, and also, I don't want him to get murdered.
He's a 15-year-old boy. Get him out of the country for a while. Yeah.
And this is where I took this. This is where I took this note. This is the moment I only realized we are halfway through the film.
Yeah.
This is at like an hour and 3 minutes.
I know, which is, I'm just like, God damn, dude, what else could go wrong? Or what else is going on? But then, speaking of everything going wrong, shit starts flying back at him now.
Well, yeah, because now he gets in trouble for pulling the oxygen. And
Yeah.
also, this is where I write down his accent is officially kicking in.
Oh, is it this
This
scene?
is where it starts.
Because
I
these two
really
people,
noticed
these two
it.
people from like Eternal Affairs or whatever,
Yeah.
come because
also-
the old lady tattled on him.
Where the fuck have they been?
I don't know. And they're like above him, I guess, because they're like government, but he's just New Orleans lieutenant, I guess. But then he's like, I didn't do that. She has dementia.
Which I don't know.
I don't know. This movie's wild. But then it cuts back to the police station. Yeah. The gambling guy is there.
Yeah, he's at his desk and the
Waiting for him.
Yeah, gambling guy shows up.
And then we find out he owes him $5,000, and he's like trying to set another bet. And he goes, "No, dude, you owe me $5,000, dude." And then at the end of that scene, we find out that Frankie called him.
From this random woman who works at the police station
That we never see.
where she like they like have a fight and he goes like, "Oh, it's just about my rent." And then and then this woman just chimes in.
Yeah, the camera like pans and she goes, "Oh, Frankie, some person named Frankie called you."
And like the whole like police department's like looking at both of them too.
Yeah, it's such a weird scene, dude.
Now cut to some rich guy's apartment. Turns out Frankie is being held hostage.
And guess what? This lead boss guy,
Yeah.
that's William M. Finkelstein. That's the writer of the movie.
No shit.
That's the writer of the movie. Is this mob guy?
I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
He's older than I'd expect.
Isn't that wild? I mean, he's born in 52.
That's true. Yeah, during the World Series. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the writer of the movie. They have Eva Mendes, and then they have the dog, which I don't even know how they got the dog.
Did
Maybe
he
'cause
bring
Eva-
the dog?
I don't even know, but they have the dog at gunpoint, and she's sitting on the guy's lap.
I thought it was Exhibit who had the gun on dog point or dog on gun
No,
point.
it's
later.
this-
It's the scene
it's
of like,
this-
you want me to kill the fucking dog?
Yeah, it's
right.
this
It's
scene
one
with
of the buff dudes. Yeah,
it's
you're
the
right.
two henchmen, dude. It's so wild.
Because it turns out that this is the guy who Nicolas Cage was told he would regret pissing off.
Yeah, and so now he's here, and he's like,
Is his name Dave or something like that?
I don't know. We
I
never
wrote it down later.
We never got it, but we find out that this main boss guy or whoever this guy is wants $50,000, and then on top of the $50,000, his two henchmen want to have sex with Eva Mendes.
And so this is where like all of a sudden Bad Lieutenant is her pimp, I guess. Where I was really confused by that turn. He was like, "Fine, you guys can fuck her. Go clean yourself up."
Dude, yeah, he goes, "Go clean yourself up. You look like shit."
Yeah.
That's what he's, and I'm like, yeah, you're beat up, but you're Eva Mendes, you're still hot as hell.
'Cause
Like,
this is the moment where I write like, "Holy shit, this is dark." When he's like, "Yeah, you go clean yourself up. These two boys will fuck you in
and
a
then
minute."
and then he's like, "You have 15 minutes."
And
Because
the-
she has another client.
And the guy's like, "Well, we don't have 15 minutes." He's like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you. If you want your money, I need to get your money."
Yeah, what? And then we find out he has 2 days to get $50,000.
Yeah, and then also, that instead of because they have to go somewhere too, that on their way back they'll fuck her or
Yeah,
something like that.
the fucking will happen later because they want more than 15 minutes, I guess.
But luckily, this is the moment where you realize he lied to protect Eva Mendes, and he's like, "I got rid of him. It's okay. You're gonna go
But
stay
it was
with
still
me."
well because he also said to her face, "You look like shit."
Yeah, but it was all an act. Bad Lieutenant was just playing bad cop,
Yeah, but
and now he's like, "You're gonna go live with my father."
it also, this scene kind of, when he said, "You look like shit," it reminded me of the other guys.
Sure, yeah.
'Cause Eva Mendes is the wife
Yeah.
in that, and he goes, he's like, "This tastes like shit. This tastes like a dog's asshole." The other guys are one of my favorite movies. But they cuts to his dad's house. He's having Eva Mendes stay there because that's the only safe spot, I guess.
I mean, that's fair.
I guess out in the country or
I
whatever.
guess the dog's back at the house
The dog,
now.
I guess.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
We didn't need
I
the
don't think
dog
we
ever.
I don't think the dog ever comes back. I don't think the dog had any purpose.
No. That's why
Cut
I
it.
want to know.
Yeah,
What does it symbolize?
What if the dog didn't exist?
Nothing. Oh,
And that's another like
Sure.
But we never got a dog POV.
yeah. I'll have to show you the iguana scene again because I'm pretty sure that's what they say.
Oh, that would be wild.
I think that's what happened.
I guess now if I saw it again, I'd be like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't
No,
get
you
it.
won't
I
get
don't
it.
get it. But so the dad does not want her here, and then Eva and then Jennifer Coolidge immediately start fighting
Where like she goes through her bag and pulls out drugs.
and pulls out drugs and goes, "He's in recovery."
And she's like, "You're drunk."
Yeah, and she goes, "How do you know? You told her?" And she's like, "It's obvious, bitch."
And then Coolidge pours the drugs on the ground, and that's the scene.
Yeah.
Because that's where I wrote, what is the point? What are we doing here?
But then while they're doing that, there's a knock at the door,
Oh, yeah.
and the two guys from earlier that are coming after Nicolas Cage.
Yep.
They're like, "Oh, you're in trouble now, Buster,"
Yep.
and they take away his gun.
Yep.
So like, I don't understand. Like, you can get demoted, but lose your weapon, but still have a job.
So he is being investigated.
So
And
they take away his weapon then.
yes, because someone who might not be fit to be a cop shouldn't have a fucking
Oh, but
gun.
he's still officially a cop.
Well, he's still like he hasn't been fired yet, but it's like the idea of like let's take a gun from him.
Yeah, give him a wooden gun.
Exactly,
from the other guys.
And then I have another quote of when
I have
Nicolas
the quote,
Cage
yeah.
enters back in. A man without a gun is not a man.
He's not a man. He's so sad.
He's so upset.
He's so sad. He doesn't.
in front of his dad, his stepmom, and Eva Mendes.
And then this next scene. Again, this is another subplot that doesn't need to. Why is this in the movie?
I don't know. She's in like he brings her to his like childhood playhouse.
It's a shed.
Yeah.
It's a shed that he used to play in. That's also I love too. He walks in and he pulls the thing.
Yes.
And he goes, well, that used to work.
Yeah. Why? What are we doing?
I think it was. I think he was.
Yeah, I
improv.
think so too. That's a fair because Izzy like paused the film for that scene.
But he does this whole speech about when he was a kid and imagination. And
My dad got me a metal detector.
No, his mom did.
Oh, okay.
His
gotcha,
dad
right.
hated his imagination.
Right.
But his mom got him a metal detector, and then one day he saw pirates coming over the hill, and he went to go look for buried treasure and found a metal spoon and he's like
silver spoon.
a silver spoon, and he's like, I got the silver spoon, but then I lost it in here, and I haven't been able to find it. So I'm like, oh, you're giving Eva Mendes, who's an adult,
Hope, I guess.
something to do while you're gone. Look for this spoon. That's what I felt like. It was like, while I
yourself busy.
go do big boy stuff, you look for this spoon for me.
But also, the look on her face made me uncomfortable. in the scene.
Yeah, she's just like
She looked like a bewildered child.
she's
like,
so like
watching fireworks at Disneyland.
just like so like
entranced.
oh.
No, she has a whimsical look on her face.
And she's
an adult.
and
She's high off her mind.
but also the story he's telling is like, what are you saying?
And then it just ends.
Yeah, and then it just ends, and it cuts back to the police station, and he's on property room detail
Which why the
because this is where he gets the drugs.
fuck would they put him on property, dude? Or
I don't know if
evidence?
I don't know if they know that he does drugs.
I fucking guess. But
even though they just heard that he smoked dope.
also, the bookie showed up at his place of work.
Yeah, that. Yeah, so you think. But then another couple comes in.
But also, did you notice the way he was walking around during this scene? Because he was watching the security
Yeah,
camera, and he's like just
He's acting, and he's like hiding from the security cameras.
against
It's like,
the wall.
People watching the security cameras can see you acting this
Yeah.
weird.
Also, just do your job. Just talk to
Just
them
act
normally. Yeah.
normal.
Because it turns out he gets drugs from somebody. And he's like, well, the filing system's down, so I'll just weigh it later.
I'll weigh it later, and then I'll get you your voucher. And then he puts it in his pocket, and I'm like, okay. And then it cuts to Big Fate
Yep,
eating dinner,
Back to exhibit.
and then Nicolas Cage just walks in without a gun.
Yep.
Or maybe he got his gun back at this point. I don't know.
I can't remember when he gets his gun.
I
back.
don't-
At some point, he says, "Oh yeah, by the way, I need this gun,"
And then just takes it.
and then he just gets it again. Yeah.
But he walks up, and everyone's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I just want to talk to you. And he gets him to leave the place, and they go on a walk. And it's so weird. And then he's asking Big Fate if he wants to partner up.
Yeah.
And that he'll protect him from other cops for money.
Yeah, he says like he'll know like stuff in deep or like
He'll be able to
internal
let him.
stuff.
He'll
Yeah.
be able to prevent him from busts and stuff.
Yeah.
Early
And-
on.
And he says he doesn't care about the murders. He just wants to.
No,
make
he's just
money.
like I just want money and then drugs because this guy's getting a ton of drugs.
And now they're working together.
Just that's quick.
Yep.
You think You think if you're a good bad guy, you go, no.
Yeah.
This guy just tried.
It can't be worth it. Yeah.
This guy just tried taking me down.
Because he proves that he does know something. Like he tells them about someone getting busted.
Yeah, they prevented a bust or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
now cut to them in the car together with the henchmen too. And in the background of this scene, the two of them are like they park on a bridge and Big Fate and Bad Lieutenant are talking. In the background, the henchmen are just getting rid of a dead body.
yeah, they have a body wrapped in bags
Yep.
with weights on it,
Yep.
and they throw it over the bridge and it goes in the water, and then they get back in the car and leave. And Nicolas Cage doesn't ever acknowledge it.
No.
And that's never brought up again.
No,
I think it's
doesn't
just to
matter.
establish how bad they are.
I fucking guess. Even though we were already aware they executed 5 people.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. But then they drop Nicolas Cage back off at his car.
Yep.
He gets in his car and then sees a drug deal happening right in front of
Yeah,
him.
fucking cut to.
And then he busts this guy for buying drugs. And we find out that this guy plays football.
So I wrote down what Nicolas Cage yelled in his face as he was arrested. He was, "You bought dope! I watched you bought dope!" Like he screams the word dope twice. Yeah. He's just arresting another dude who turns out to be an athlete.
Yeah, I think he's playing for the team that he has money betted on.
For Louisiana or for the other team?
I don't
can't
really
remember.
know exactly. But then he's bribing him to throw the football game.
Or he'll like lose all of his scholarships and shit like that.
And then if he doesn't throw the game, he'll arrest him for buying dope.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and this big tough guy is like scared, which I would be too if Nicolas Cage was screaming at me.
Yes.
And us, what? What do you say? Like, I'd be like, what are you saying?
Over weed too.
Yeah. So that scene happens, and then it cuts back to Nicolas Cage hanging out with Big Fate again.
Yep.
Again, just another time jump.
Yeah.
They're doing coke in the car, and then Nicolas Cage gets angry. Nicolas Cage is driving, gets angry because he hasn't been paid yet. And then Nicolas Cage goes unhinged. He pulls a gun out on him, and then he starts laughing.
He threatens to kill them, and they, I don't know if they're like, "You're not gonna kill us." He's like, "I'll kill you till the break of dawn."
Yeah, and then he starts like quoting a song, and then he goes, and then they all start laughing.
Yep.
It's like he's lost his mind.
And then I guess he gets his money
I guess so, dude.
because the next scene is he's placing his fucking bet again.
Yeah, because he comes running in high on dope, and he goes, "Here's 10 grand, the 5 that I owe you, and then 5 on this game."
Yeah, for the game he fixed by threatening to arrest
Dude.
that other football player.
It's exhausting.
Yes.
This movie is like,
No, because I was like, thank God I'm taking notes because I would not be able to follow.
I know
this
that
at
because I
all.
was pausing and writing it down.
Yeah.
If I just watched this clean, I'd be like, what is happening?
Because I don't. This is like a movie where we talked like the past few months of like, oh, I wish I really knew the movie, like watched it, took notes, and then watched it a few more times. This absolutely not.
Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, we'll get to it at the end, but I don't even know if I want to watch this again.
I don't think I will.
Ever.
I'll watch that one scene again.
Yeah, that scene's pretty dope. Cut to his dad's house. He's looking for Frankie.
Yep.
Frankie's hiding in the corner.
Yep.
Even then, is hiding in the corner again.
Yep.
And then we
That's what
find
she's
out.
good at.
And then we find out she's starting to go to AA
Yeah,
meetings.
she's getting sober with his dad.
And
And he
then-
like offers her drugs a few
because
times, and she
now
kind
he
of
has,
just like
because he's uncut cocaine now.
right, yeah,
He has the uncut dope, which is what they call.
right
so it's
because he
pure.
took that as payment too.
Yeah, it's pure. So then she says no, goes to the meeting with her dad, but then sends him on a mission to get clothes for her.
yes.
So they go. He goes to find clothes for her, and then finds out that he's getting tailed by that
the-
other guy.
by
that,
the now
that he
you're gonna
owes
regret this
50
guy,
grand
yeah.
to.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to
Back with fate.
back with Big Fate doing drugs. And I noticed, like, when Nicolas Cage is sitting there, you see a shotgun under the
Pointed
table.
at,
And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck, he's going to shoot Nicolas Cage.
Until Nicolas Cage does crack with him.
Yeah.
And also says the fucking N-word a few times.
Dude, yes, Nicolas Cage drops the end. I was like, what the hell?
What are we doing?
2009.
Yeah.
This is like, I maybe get if you said it in the 70s or 80s maybe.
Why
But
don't-
2009?
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage?
Well, I mean, like, it's even
And
out
he
of...
said it to Exhibit.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's fucking out of place when, like, Tarantino says it to Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction. Like, there, it's even, like, wild.
Django? Yeah.
Yeah, no, in, well, yeah, and
Django, he
that's not
said-
to Samuel L. Jackson, though. No, in Pulp Fiction, he says it a few times,
Yeah, he does.
too. But, like, still, it's never
necessary.
No.
But then Exhibit starts saying it a ton, but he's allowed to.
yeah.
But it was wild. He says it like 2 or 3 times. And I was like, what the fuck?
He's referring to, like, an animal or something like that. I
Yeah, because
think.
he's talking about the football player that turns into an elk.
Yeah, and he says N-word elk or something like that.
Yeah, and then he's like, I was watching the game, and this guy was running so fast, he jumped in the air, and then horns grew, and
Yeah.
he's like freaking out, and like, it was like, what the hell?
No, I put, BL is fucking unhinged in this scene.
He's And then he pulls out his lucky crack pipe and he's like, give me another hit. And then he's like, you do another hit. And he
From
makes
my
him
lucky crack
from my
pipe,
lucky
yeah.
crack pipe. And he goes, why is it lucky? And he goes, you don't have a lucky crack pipe? And it's just like, what? I was like, what is going on?
But then what happens? Fucking Dave shows up. Yeah, I wrote down his name. His name's Dave.
Dave. So this is the guy that owes 50 grand. He shows
That
up
wrote the fucking movie.
Yeah, this is the guy who wrote the movie. He shows up with his 2 henchmen. They just casually walk in. And he sits down, and I'm like, oh, the shotgun got established here, dude.
Yeah.
It's so fun because they're like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Like, we don't give a and then they just kill him. They just murder him.
To a wild harmonica song.
Dude, yeah, this goes on for way too long.
And
but
then-
then, dude, this is another thing.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage starts laughing, saying, shoot him again.
Shoot him again. His soul is still dancing. And then it cuts to this guy breakdancing wearing a similar suit as
Yeah,
Dave.
but very
he's just
obviously not Dave.
Not Dave. Breakdancing to harmonica music. And then he's like, shoot him again. And then when he does shoot him again, the guy, the dancer
Yeah,
dies.
and then lizards show
An
up.
iguana walks in.
So that's where I'm like, lizards must be like death incarnate. This is the only idea I had, where maybe somebody died at like the crocodile thing because there was a car flipped over in the background. Maybe they're dead. But also,
So it's the soul?
no, I think it's like death. But then also for the iguana, where they aren't there, no one dies in that
Yeah,
scene.
no one died
either.
in that
So
scene.
I don't fucking know. That was my guess.
And also that scene that we see the iguana die, but we don't get a weird POV at all. So it's like very inconsistent.
No, he just shows up,
It's
yeah.
inconsistent. Whatever they're trying to do, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I will say it was weird, and I do kind of like when movies do weird things.
Yes, but it didn't.
It didn't make
fit.
sense.
The time, like,
If you're gonna be weird throughout.
but like it was weird throughout. It just didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. Yeah.
Because the issue I have with this movie is that there's 4 different storylines happening. They all star Nick Cage
And they're all happening at the same time.
and intertwined. Yeah.
Gambling, coke, dog.
Because now,
Eva, like it's
next
just-
scene, back at Dad's house. Turns out Eva is in rehab.
No, but there's a quick scene
Oh,
before
shit,
this.
is there? God damn it.
There's a quick scene before this. This is important. This is
is
actually
it?
an
Okay.
important scene because he goes to the police station and the guy's working late and he's like, "What are you doing tonight?" And he goes, "I'm about to go to bed." And he goes, "No, you're not. You're going to go back to the house and you're going to find a crack pipe and it's going to have fingerprints on
Right,
it."
yeah.
And he goes, "How do you know that?" And he goes, "We might have missed it." And I'm just like, "Okay, so you planted it."
Yeah, and this was Michael Shannon, right?
No, this is just some guy working in the office.
Yeah, right. This is the other
Yeah.
guy who like questions him a few times. Or
Yeah,
whatever
but
the
then
fuck.
it goes back to his dad's house and we find out that Eva Mendes is on her way to rehab.
And while they learn this, for some reason, Jennifer Coolidge is watching bullfighting. Just a man getting gored by a bull.
And then Nicolas Cage starts doing coke in, I'm guessing, his bedroom of the house. And then Jennifer Coolidge sees him and goes, You can do that in front of me.
Yep.
It's your dad that has the problem."
And did you kind of think they were gonna fuck in this scene?
So did I.
Yeah.
Because then it cuts to Jennifer Coolidge super hammered.
Yeah.
Because apparently they established it that she doesn't do anything but get
Yeah,
drunk.
she drinks beers on the porch.
That's
I
all
think.
she.
Yeah.
That's all she. But she's watching TV like super hammered. Nicolas Cage comes walking in super fucked up. They sit together so close on a
And
tight
just
couch.
Watch a bull just
And then
kill
he,
a man.
And then he goes, "Do you care if I put on a football game?" And he's like, "Go ahead." And then he just flips to the football game, and whatever team he bet on is getting their ass kicked. It's
yes,
like 24-6.
yeah. And we find out that the guy that he like
Blackmailed or
just faked an injury
so he
instead
couldn't
of
play.
playing bad.
Yeah, which I guess is smart because he's like, but then that makes the team. I don't get exactly what, but
Because I was really confused by this because like so is the other team or his team is still just winning without him.
I think he was on the defensive team and he's like one of the best defensive players.
No, but he wanted him to play bad.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand that
He
because
wanted him to throw the game
because we think that he loses the bet
yes,
and then apparently the team comes back and wins.
I guess so. I think he blackmailed the guy,
Well, he's got to be. He's got to. I think it was a point thing. They got to win by a certain amount of points. Or
but
I
like
don't understand
because I
betting.
think he blackmailed the guy who is the star of the team he bet against. So that guy, instead of playing bad, was just like, I'm just gonna
get myself out of here.
And then I think his team was still winning when we saw the game. I don't fucking know.
I don't
But
know.
apparently Nick Cage also didn't finish the game.
No, he probably passed out because then it cuts to back to the police station. The guy that wouldn't pay Eva's there.
Yeah.
He's just like, "Man, I just came here to say I heard about what happened. I don't know
We're
if you
good.
I don't know if you involved in that, but no complaints. We're good. Just fucking leave me alone."
And then immediately we find out, hey, because the gambling
The
guy
gambling guy walks in immediately.
And he's like, Nicolas Cage is like, oh shit, I don't have the money. He's like, nope, you won.
You won
Here
the-
you go.
And he just gives him a ton of cash, and it's like, oh fuck. And then as soon as that guy leaves, well, and also
The other detective
but also
shows
while
up.
the gambling guy's there, he's like, oh, by the way, that ticket I asked you about,
Yeah.
taken care of, thanks, man.
Yeah.
And Nicolas Cage is like, I didn't do any of this. And then the fucking boss comes in and is like, hey, guess what? We got Big Fate.
We found a crack pipe.
We captured him, and I was like, oh, so it conveniently he just won. Like he now is
everything
Everything
great
went right.
within one scene. And now they're going to go arrest Big Fate. Fucking Val Kilmer's there, and Val Kilmer's like, "No, we're not gonna cuff him. Let's fucking shoot him."
Well, before that scene,
Okay, yeah.
there's a quick this scene didn't have to be in the movie,
Okay, that's why I didn't write it down.
but it cuts back to his dad's house. Before they capture Big Fate, cuts back to his dad's house. Eva Mendes is sleeping in the bed. And Nicholas,
Right.
and Nicolas Cage comes walking in, wakes her up, and out of his jacket pulls out the silver spoon, and he goes, "I found it. It's not silver anymore; it's rusty, but I want you to have it." And we get a close up. This spoon looks like
shit.
Looks like shit, and she goes, "It's beautiful." And then I think there's a scene where he rubs the spoon on her face.
Yes, I think so.
And then that's it. What does that mean? What is
Those two scenes.
cut that.
Also, I thought she was in rehab.
Yeah, cut the dog scene. Cut that shit. This is just confusing.
You could cut all the betting scenes too.
Yeah, cut the betting. We already get he's an addict.
Yeah.
Make it Make it a tight 90, okay?
Yeah.
But then,
But also a loose 90. Fucking keep the weird iguana shots.
yeah. So then it can be a little weird, but don't. It's just too many storylines. Too many storylines. Big Fate's busted. Val Kilmer wants to kill him.
Yep.
Won't cuff him, and then he finally does cuff him. And then it fades to black, and then just 1 year later. What?
What are we doing?
What is this movie? It gets back to the same shot of the police commencement, the promotions and everything.
And he's getting an award.
He gets promoted to captain.
Yep.
So now he's
Bad captain.
Bad captain.
Port of Call, New Orleans.
Yeah. And then we find out Eva is pregnant. Eva Mendes is pregnant. And I'm guessing everyone's sober.
Because at one point he says, we'll stick with sparkling water.
We'll stick
yeah.
with sparkling water. So it sounds like Eva got sober. The dad got
she's
sober.
pregnant, so yeah.
The dad got sober. It looked like Jennifer Coolidge looked better.
Because she was wearing a really nice dress. She looked good.
She looked
yeah.
good. She didn't look like fucked up.
And
And then he's not drinking.
And then
It looks like they have a house. Like they
they have like a cute place.
They have a cute place, and then he works night shift.
I assume she's not a prostitute anymore. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe
but,
she loved it. I don't know.
but she's pregnant, and
Yep.
then we cut to Gator's retreat, which is where they were earlier, where he busted that couple
Yep.
and had sex with her.
and we see another couple walking.
And it's the exact same fucking scene.
Yep.
It's kind of fun because I was like, oh, filming wise, they filmed these back to back.
Right, yeah. Because it's a different couple.
It's a different couple. It's the exact same place. So he does the exact same thing. It's like, you guys match the witnesses. You guys get all this stuff. He's looking to get dope, and he's looking to like have sex.
Maybe.
But then the scene doesn't finish. It just fades to black.
Yep.
Like, I'm like, what?
Because my note is now is like, I guess he's still dirty.
Yeah, he's a bad captain now. And then it cuts to him in a hotel room. Why is he in a hotel
He has
room
a fucking house.
doing a shit ton of coke?
Yep.
Room service, knocks, says room service, and then comes in fully and closes the door.
Turns out it's the wrong room.
But then turns out it's the guy he saved from the beginning of the movie.
The one who was going to drown.
What?
And then he's like, you saved my life. I'm here to save yours.
And we find out that this guy's like, after he went through all of his shit, he's in rehab.
think he's doing good,
He's
yeah.
been sober for almost a year. And then Nick Cage the guy sits
You gonna
down.
give him the line?
He looks at him and he goes, "Do fish have dreams?"
Hard cut to aquarium.
That's the last line of the movie.
Hard cut to aquarium. The two of them are sitting there surrounded by water and fish.
Oh, I guess there is some lines here. I guess
Is there? I did not write any down.
I didn't write them down, but there are some
I just wrote
dialogues.
down hard cut to aquarium.
Hard cut to an aquarium. I don't know if the guy relapsed and did drugs with him.
Because they look fucked up.
But Nicolas Cage is definitely fucked up. They're sitting in an aquarium, sitting down with big fish around him. And this is when he goes, "I'm still mad I ruined my expensive underwear for you."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's the last line of the movie, which, what the heck?
End.
And then we see them sitting there silent for a long time.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you hear Nicolas Cage start laughing. He goes, cut to black. Credits. It ended. I was like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
What? Dude,
I don't know.
it was wild.
Yeah. That's the fucking movie.
That's the movie. Do you have any closing thoughts or anything you want to do before we get to the moist meter?
I don't.
Okay, I do have some stuff I want to talk about, but I think let's pour our glasses for the moist meter, say what we rate it, and then I'll talk about the fun facts and my closing thoughts and everything.
Also, Izzy is at work, so you will not get her views on this movie. She didn't like it.
I mean, I don't know.
Yep.
It wasn't good.
No.
But it wasn't bad.
It wasn't really bad.
It wasn't like, some movies are bad, but you enjoy them. This movie wasn't that bad that I enjoyed it.
It wasn't.
It wasn't like, if it would have been worse, I might have liked it for it being bad.
If it was shorter too.
But it was just like, it was like right in the middle of like, they wanted it to be a good movie.
They had to have had an artistic view on this.
But no one got it?
Nope. No one got it.
What was Werner Herzog trying to do?
I don't know.
And then the writer guy, he fucking wrote for Law and Order.
That doesn't mean anything. Writing for Law and Order does not mean you're a good writer.
He won some Emmys.
That doesn't. All right. Writing a good Law and Order episode is like writing a sad movie where a dog dies. It's not fucking hard.
Yeah, it's not hard. Yeah, you just gotta write.
You follow the script. You have a woman get sexually assaulted brutally, and then you're like, well, we kill the guy at the end. That's it.
And then it's a happy ending.
And then produced by Dick Wolf or whatever the fuck is that?
Dick Wolf?
Yeah, he's Law and Order or NCIS. It's Dick Wolf.
His name is Dick Wolf.
That's how every episode of one of those shows
so
fucking
it's just silence
ends.
and it's black with white font. Produced by Dick Wolf.
Dick Wolf, yes.
That's awesome.
One of the most just firmest names I've ever heard. I respect Dick Wolf.
He actually gets off on Law and Order episodes.
I think he does. I think they all do.
This is now a Law and Order Rip Apart podcast.
I mean, it's just all of those. Any procedural, like where it's all about cops.
I've never really been into procedural dramas.
No, I mean, they're just like, what is the worst thing a human can do? Let's have Ice-T explain it. Like,
yeah, I forgot Ice-T's in it.
He's in one of them. I don't know. They're all the fucking same to me.
I used to really like. There was another one. It wasn't Law and Order. It wasn't any of the ones. But it like one of the IT guys had long hair and he was cool.
No, that's one of those. Yeah,
but I don't remember what it was. But I liked that one.
Fuck, which one is that? Because that's one I've seen random episodes. Yeah. They're all the same.
But it's one of those shows that like it would just randomly be on TV and I would watch it.
What is that one? I know exactly what you're talking about.
Better.
It's not. That might be the one with Ice-T.
I don't think so. But like the cast is wild, and then also there's so many spin-offs: Law and Order SVU, Law and Order Florida, Law and Order Port of Call New Orleans. Like there's so many of them.
All right, Ice-T is Law and Order SVU, which I think is the main one.
Yeah, I think that's the big one. That's been going on forever.
Is that the one with the hot guy that everyone loves?
I would recognize the name if you said it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
Fuck, what is the other one? Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah,
I like Criminal Minds a little bit better, but it's basically the same show.
Because that has the guy.
He's also, what I really like is he's also in 500 Days of Summer.
Matthew Gray Gubler.
Matthew Gray Gubler. Yeah, yep. People love him. He's a heartthrob.
That's got Joe Mantanga.
Who's that guy? Is he the main guy?
He's one of the main guys.
I think I can picture his face. Yeah. Well, this isn't a podcast about that show.
No.
It's a podcast about Battle Lieutenant Port of Call New Orleans. It's time for the Moist Meter. Let's
official Moist Movie of the Month, Moist Meter.
Let's pour our glasses, do our final thoughts, and
let's pour of Called New Orleans, our glasses.
And let's fucking move on from this piece of shit movie. Yeah.
Now we're back with our official Moist Movie of the Month, Moist Meter segment.
And before we jump into it, the beer we were drinking during the episode was Pseudo Sue because
lizards.
Pseudo Sue is a dinosaur.
We try to get a drink in theme with the movie every time.
Yes, and then the beer we're gonna chug for the ending, I picked this up. This is Frank's Golden Cream Ale Honey and Vanilla by Burdock Brewing Company. And the only reason I picked this up is because there's a dog on it.
Yep. Does it matter? No.
No.
Did the dog in the movie matter? Absolutely not.
No. So I wrote a paragraph. I always like to write a paragraph at the end of the movie with my closing thoughts, like initially when the movie ends.
Sure.
So this is what I wrote. I put, very interesting movie. I don't know if it was good or not.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued by it. When it ended, I was like, okay, time to move on with my life.
Well, because that's the thing is, like, you can say this is an interesting movie,
but I don't care about it.
I will not think about it again.
No,
besides that one scene.
It's just like ended, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would watch this again, but I do want to find it and own it
Sure.
Only because of this stupid fucking
Just
podcast.
to be a part of the Moisterian collection.
The Moisterian collection. The cast was incredible, and Nick Cage does a great job of being Nick Cage. Like, it's like he's not... I didn't say he's like a good actor, but he's Nick Cage.
He's full on Nick Cage.
Yeah. I'm confused by some of it. Like, why did we get the weird animal POVs and stuff like that?
Yep.
It wasn't bad, but I was also just like, oh, okay, I get it. Time to move on.
See,
that was my closing
and that's
thoughts.
where I disagree. Where I say this was a bad movie.
Okay.
It was poorly written. It was poorly acted. It was poorly directed.
I mean, I've seen a lot worse movies.
Editing wise.
That's true. I don't. Yeah, it was a lot going on.
Like literally, the only movie that comes to mind is Halle Berry's Catwoman. Is a worse edited movie.
I've never seen that. I don't think
it's not even good. It's like not even fun.
Damn, really? And Halle Berry. That you think that'd be awesome? I guess early superhero movies sometimes were really bad.
Yeah, and also like especially the early spin-off superhero movies. Think about like it's like Elektra.
Yeah,
nobody wanted it. Nobody needed it.
That's a movie I've never seen.
Me neither.
And isn't there like a second Daredevil movie?
No.
Oh, I thought there was. So
That's
there's just
Elektra.
Daredevil and then Elektra. Okay.
And she's in the Daredevil movie.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yes.
I love the first Daredevil, even though that one sucks.
Yes.
I know it's bad, but I love it.
Sure.
Because I grew up. Before we reveal what our ranking is, I do have some fun facts real quick about this movie.
Okay.
In 2008, Abel Ferrara, who directed and co-wrote the original Bad Lieutenant, was pissed people were going to remake it. He was quoted to say that all those involved in the remake should die in hell.
And I mean, I get where he's coming from.
He also called the screenwriter, William M. Finkelstein, an idiot.
Yep.
And wondered how Nicolas Cage could even have the nerve to play Harvey Keitel.
That's fair. But also, it's not a sequel.
It's not a sequel.
It's not a remake. They just also thought Bad Lieutenant was a good name. And guess what? You're both wrong. It's a bad name.
It's a bad name.
Bad Lieutenant is a horrible name. That original writer being pompous about the name Bad Lieutenant is fucking insane.
Yeah. I'm sure that movie's good, but it's like, name it something better.
Also, like, you don't really even own names. I think we could technically name our podcast Gone with the Wind 2. Like, we could just do that.
Because it's words. Yeah.
It's just a name. Yeah,
so
it's not
this
property,
film was promoted as a remake, but it's not a remake.
which is also wild.
Werner Herzog claimed he had never seen the original,
It shows.
which is wild because I feel like you should do research.
But also, no, because it's not a sequel.
Yeah, true.
It's not research.
Yeah, so I guess it's its own movie.
It's just another movie with the same shitty first two words of the name.
Nick Cage snorted baby powder for all the
I
cocaine
did see
scenes.
that, which sounds exhausting.
That's so much baby. He does so much cocaine in this.
baby powder also like
That would
'cause
hurt as
yeah, you do breathe it in. Like, have you ever used it? Because it's like just
Yeah, dude, that would.
pumps. Yeah.
So he probably. I also did read that he was sober during filming this, even though
leaving Las Vegas.
leaving
he was
Las
not.
Vegas, he got drunk. He also did a lot of ad lib and improv for his character.
It shows.
So most of it is improv. And the writer was initially pissed, but then when the movie came out, he loved it because he was like, "Oh, that's just the genius of Nick Cage."
And in which case, you're both wrong. You're wrong on both parts of first writing the film and even putting your name on it, let alone having yourself casted in a bullshit role for your bullshit movie. Shame on you, Finkelstein.
And also, like, if you're a writer, I get why you'd be pissed because if someone's doing something way off,
Yeah.
say the lines.
But then him saying, "But Nick Cage is a genius." Not in this.
Yeah, I bet it was Nicolas Cage's idea to be shaving. Why are you gonna do that? I mean,
Also, how bad is the script?
that he improv.
How insane, or how good was the script? And that's why this movie got made and like greenlit.
I mean, yeah, so many people auditioned for this.
Yeah.
Both versions of Bad Lieutenant came out on the same day, 17 years apart.
This is weird.
The first one was released November 20th, 1992, and Port of Call was released November 20th, 2009. That's weird. And also, I have two more fun facts. This isn't the first time Nicolas Cage and Eva Mendes were love interests.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
2 years earlier in 2007. Ghost Rider.
Also a fine movie.
I kind of want to. I used to love that movie as a kid.
It's fine. Second one's worse.
And then the director, Werner Herzog, actually has a small cameo in this.
Does he?
Yeah. So
Guessing not a speaking role.
it is, but
Really?
it's only speaking.
But you can read. All right. So what is it?
So there's a scene where Nicolas Cage comes over to visit Frankie, and they're talking, and someone calls, and it's a voicemail. That's Werner Herzog talking.
Oh, where he's like asking to like hire her again or whatever.
Yeah, and he's like, do you got to call him back? And she goes, no. That's Werner Herzog. So he makes a small cameo in it. That's it. There's like none of these are like
And
like
none of them explain a single fucking thing.
I want to know like what's the what was the POV shot?
What's the dog? What are the lizards?
What is and this movie?
What's the breakdancing?
And this movie's so middle of the road that I doubt there's any like YouTube videos of explaining it.
Sure.
I bet people are like, we don't care, or people don't even know what this movie is.
Because when it came to the scene of his soul is still dancing, that could have been so interesting.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't.
Make it weirder. Or if you're leaning into that he's seeing shit,
Yeah.
make us believe that.
Yeah, make it matter.
Instead of just hinting at it and doing it half-assed.
Make it integrate to like the plot. Like instead he just says some throwaway lines that nobody even bats an eye
Yeah,
at.
and then it's confusing. If you're making him see shit, make it build.
Yeah.
And
And have it matter.
have it matter.
And don't put a dog in it.
Yeah,
if it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the dog was weird.
But speaking of dog,
Yeah, let's see what we rated this movie from a glass half full.
to a glass half empty. Here's our official. What month was this for?
This is for July.
July's Moist Movie of the Month. Here's our Moist Meter review.
Damn, Jacob rated it a fucking low.
I'm surprised you rated it that high. You think this is a half full movie?
I was going for the line.
Okay.
So for audio listeners only, I poured mine at the line, but the foam made it slightly above the line. Because I was like middle of the road.
I think this was a bad movie.
Damn, yes, you put it at the middle of between half and empty.
Yep, and that's where I would put this movie.
So it's like a quarter full.
Yeah, I think this was a bad
So
movie.
you would rate it like a 25%?
I'd rate it probably like a 4 out of 10, but if I'm going to chug to it, it's not good.
I think I'd rate this movie probably 6 out of 10.
See, on IMDb, I think it has like a 6.6, which made me wait for it to get better. And it didn't.
It didn't. Yeah, it was just like chaotic.
No, I would say, yeah, just from enjoying writing of a movie or cinematography, nothing made sense. Nothing paid off. The ending was fucking lazy. No, the ending where all the issues got resolved in
one shot. It was one shot.
That's insane and stupid.
It's
Shoving
convenient.
Shoving the spoon scenes in there was just an insult to the audience. No, this was a bad movie.
I like how you brought up the cinematography. Yeah, there was nothing unique. There was
Except
nothing
for the weird lizard shots, which did not pay off.
which doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Yeah, the music was also really weird. I
Yep.
don't know if they were trying to do like New Orleans style. I don't quite know. This movie was weird. I think if I ever do watch it again, I don't know if I would like it because I would know everything.
Yeah. But also knowing everything does nothing for you.
It doesn't matter.
Because
this movie doesn't matter.
Well, the way it gets resolved, I think, is insulting to the idea of it being a thriller or a drama because it lacks everything in the
There's
end.
no suspense or buildup.
Well, there's buildup, but it's to a conversation
And
about
then it
nothing.
ends with them at the aquarium.
Yep.
So what does that mean?
No idea. They act like it's some sort of artistic release, but it is nothing.
It's like a slice of life movie about this guy that just
Yep.
he's just a bad lieutenant. That's what it is.
Yep.
He's just bad at his job, and then the movie ends and he's still bad at his job.
And also, they do this fake out of maybe he's good now to not.
And then it shows
but
that he's not.
Then the guy he saved shows up, but it's not even like an angel, like kind of thing. Like it's not even a savior. It is just nothing.
Yeah, it would be nice if at the ending, bad movie, but then this guy shows up and like makes him sober or something.
Yeah, to write a good ending, it would be him introducing himself as AA, and this guy is his sponsor, the guy he saved.
Then that would be nice because he's
But
like,
no, instead he's high as shit at an aquarium.
At an
Like it's
aquarium.
literally nothing. This entire film is just bullshit baked in with like fake good interesting cinematography. Like it's just a bad movie.
you're convincing me. I wish I would have poured less.
I think you put way too much in for what this film
I mean,
is.
I'm kind of a prisoner of the moment right now because I just watched it 2 hours ago.
Sure.
Yeah.
No,
But also,
this entire drink is that one scene. That is it. This movie has no good qualities.
also, if it wasn't Nicolas Cage,
nothing.
it would be fucking like
A
way
C-level
worse.
movie.
Way worse.
No, it wouldn't even be known. And also, this movie's not known.
No, this movie's not known at all. So
Yeah.
like Nicolas Cage is like the only selling part of this movie. But he's also fine at it.
I need to rewatch Face Off to believe Nicolas Cage knows how to act.
No, Nicolas Cage is great, dude. National Treasure,
this is just fine.
dude, it's more than fine.
But it's not like an acting masterpiece. Like
Face
Face
Off is incredible.
Face Off is like an acting masterpiece.
that pinball movie,
not a masterpiece in any regards. And it's also Willy's Wonderland. It's not a pinball movie. He just plays pinball in it.
I've never actually seen the full movie.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, I thought you guys liked it.
We like it. It's not good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of Nicolas Cage movies. It's not good, but I like it.
I don't even think that because this is a movie that's not good and I didn't like it.
Middle of the road. I'd say middle of the
don't
road.
even
You
think
say fucking quarter of the road.
I think it's bad. Yeah.
Well, that was July's Moist Movie of the Month. We're in August right now, so we're a little bit late. We'll let you guys know what July months are hard.
Yeah.
Let you guys know what the next Moist Movie of the Month is. But thanks for listening. Hopefully you guys didn't watch this movie, and if you did, hopefully you can get that 2 hours back.
Yeah.
And if you bought it, Nathan,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But he owns them all.
We didn't tell you to.
Yeah, he owns them all. Thanks you guys for listening. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, Moist Monday Podcast. Send us an email, moistmondaypodcast@gmail.com with your thoughts, feelings, and reactions to this movie or whatever. We just like getting emails, so please email us.
We're lonely.
Rate us 5 stars on all the podcast apps. Do all this stuff. Share this with a friend if you like it. And if you don't, share it with an enemy. We're just trying to grow. Now, we're going to chug this beer and move on with our lives and say goodbye to Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, bud. Fastest drink I've had so far.
That's pretty good. That's a good beer.
No, it's not bad. A little too honey for me.
A little too honey.
Yeah.
But easy chug.